What's up, y'all? I just wanted to do a quick tour of my ship. This is the Albatross. Now, it started life as the Star Eagle many iterations ago, but by now I think I've finally gotten it just about perfect. Now, first of all, I love the way this thing looks. It's a little bit ridiculous, it's super wide, but I like that it looks more like a fighter than a freighter, even though it is enormous. It has over 5,000 kilograms of cargo. Most of it's tucked behind the stellar reactor right there. But thanks to these 6 massive engines, it still has full mobility. I think these are the best engines in the game as far as I can tell. It also has insanely powerful weapons. It has a maxed out crew. My favorite thing about this ship is actually the interior layout. I designed the entire ship around the interior that I wanted, and that's kind of the reason it looks a little bit weird, but I think it turned out pretty much perfect. This thing is a beast. Anyway, let's take a look at the inside. And as we enter the ship, the first thing we see is this little infirmary. I'm pretty disappointed with the infirmary in this game because even though I have a doctor on my crew, I can't find her here and I cannot use her for actual medical services like curing afflictions, for instance. All it has is a research lab here and a pharmaceutical lab, so basically just takes the place of a science lab. That's the exact same functionality. I do prefer the infirmary though, and I like having it right here near the entrance to the ship. Just because these little stretchers are pretty cool looking. I like the idea that if somebody was injured, we could just open up this door, let the ramp down, and wouldn't have to worry about any ladders trying to get somebody on the ship. And then right here by the door, I've got my crafting area, the workshop. So that way I don't have to walk through a whole labyrinth if I ever need to do any adjustment to my gear. I just hop on the ship and it's right there. And then over here, I've got an armory. Now, honestly, I haven't really stored anything in this armory. I heard these weapon racks can cause weapons to disappear. It's a little bug. But I'm sure eventually either the modding community or Bethesda themselves will fix that, and then I can load some weapons on here. But for now, I do kind of like the look of it. It's a nice little element to the ship. The brig here is cool, even though it's, again, completely pointless. Again, add some headcanon type stuff. And then we'll walk through here into the heart of the ship. It's a 2x3 Hope Tech cab, and this is a mess hall. It's got a kitchen over there, a bunch of tables. Over here it's got this cool little TV den, people can hang out. And of course this is where you'll access the rest of the ship. Yes, there's a ladder. I know people hate ladders, but my ship only has one, so it's really not that bad. And then we'll head up here through the door. And this is the command center. This is what allows me to have such a big crew. Got a little console here where I can access the map. I have the HUD turned off, but yeah, I could click on that. And I really like the way I have this corner window set up here. Definitely adds some ambiance to the interior. We'll go through here, and we have a Hope Tech all-in-one berth. This allows me to have a little bit of passenger space on the ship, just in case I need to transport some people. And then finally here we've got the actual crew quarters. Got a little workout bar there. This is where the beds are. Got another little kitchen in case somebody wants a midnight snack and doesn't want to head all the way down the ladder. And of course some more windows over here so nobody gets too claustrophobic. Now we'll head back through to the final section of the ship, which is really simple. But this is where I spend most of the time in here, honestly. This is the captain's quarters and the cockpit. That's it. And I do have the docker right here too. So yeah, really there is only one ladder on the entire ship. I'd really like to find a mod. I haven't really looked yet, but I'd like to find a mod that lets you use this as a door, so you could pop out of the top of the ship like in Metroid. I think that would be awesome. I really loved Metroid as a kid. It was always my favorite game series. That'd be fun. You jetpack up there and enter through the top too. That'd be cool. Anyway, let me take off and get this thing into the sky, show you how it fights. Alright, now we're in space. Looks like we got a Starborn fight right away. It's pretty low level, but be a nice little warm-up. So in order to power up the two weapons I use all the way, I can't run my engines at full power. But I mean, honestly, running engines at full power in a fight is kind of silly anyway. It moves way too fast. So yeah, this is usually how I run the setup when I'm fighting. If I do want a little bit more speed, that is a crazy looking eclipse going on right there. Holy crap. But anyway, I can power up my engines to full if I do want a little bit more mobility while I'm exploring. Yeah, and I believe I've got the most powerful engines, and they're at 100 mobility, 130 top speed, which I believe is the max. And just in case you were wondering about what planet I was at on that outpost, it is Kodos here. It's a moon of Aquila. And if you played the Freestar questline, you probably recognize it. You can land at this place called the Fortuna, and that landing site is really, really interesting. It's got a crazy, like, huge wide river running right through the middle of the landing area. And there's some islands that you can explore and set up outposts at, and it's a pretty cool spot. And I named it Sanctuary, just a little homage to Fallout 4. But now let's go over to the Serpentis System. The Serpentis System is really good for space combat because for some reason you get attacked every time you travel, almost every time you travel around here. So now that we are in the Serpentis System, I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So let's fly to this little moon here. I just realized you can do this. You can scan in space. It's kind of cool. Like, you can actually just see all the other planets in the system, and you can select them and just travel there. It's a little bit more seamless than going to the map. Still kind of crappy space travel, honestly, in this game, but this makes it a little bit more immersive. And then as we arrive here, give it about 10-15 seconds. Usually some guys will warp in and attack you. Doesn't happen every time, but boom, there we go. Got some Veyroon guys right away. And this guy's level 54, so yeah, that'll be a little bit better showcased. This thing just melts enemies. I've got two particle beams set up here. Two different sets. They're not autocannons. I know a lot of people use the autocannons. I'm just tanking these missiles, I don't care. But I kind of like being able to actually fire these manually. I do also have EM weapons. I don't normally power them up unless I'm going after like a hostage ship that's been taken over by pirates and I don't want to actually damage it. Even if I'm going to board an actual enemy, I'll usually just shoot it with my particle beams. But well, let's do this one more time and we'll just get into another fight, see what else we can destroy. And hopefully we'll get attacked again. Let's see what happens. There we go. And you know, for this guy, let's power up my EM weapons, just as proof of concept here. We'll just lock onto him, destroy his shields. And then boom, we can dock with him right away. Oh, got a little bug with the docker here. I've not seen that before. You know, Bethesda. Gotta love him or hate him. Okay, let's see. This thing's a problem. Anyway, there we go. Can board a ship. I don't really use the EM weapons much, but kind of adds to, again, some of that headcanon stuff. If you want to use it, it's there. This will probably be about the toughest challenge you can find in the game, outside of maybe some of those legendary ships. But let's see what we can do here. Sometimes I do honestly get to some of my hull. But as you can see, I'm still pretty much just melting these guys. See, yeah, they're getting my shield down a little bit here. I am playing on very hard. I'm at level 116. But, you know, I hit the repair button one time, and that's pretty much all I'll ever need to do, even in these really difficult high-level fights. Piece of cake. I can just reallocate some of this power here to repair my systems. And outside of a fight like this, I pretty much never even have to worry about my shield dropping. I don't even need to boost to avoid missiles. I mean, I do have that ability unlocked. It is a very useful ability as well. I mean, it's honestly one worth getting. Invest in your engine skill early on, and yeah, once you boost, then all enemies will disengage with you for a short time. It'll allow your shields to start to recharge a little bit, and you can use it to dodge missile lock. So definitely useful. So here's the ship in the actual builder screen. It's got enough fuel to get me all the way across the entire settled systems pretty much. Pretty good amount of hull, but of course that doesn't matter because I have an insane amount of shields. Some of that comes from my crew, but I do have the best shield generator here in the game as far as I'm aware. Same thing, I can jump to any system, that's not a problem. I've got some insanely powerful weapons. And yeah, over 5,000 cargo. I don't have any shielded cargo. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could increase this. I could put some maybe shielded cargo here, where the windows are. But honestly, I don't ever really need the shielded cargo space. If I do have contraband, I just go straight to the den with it and sell it anyway. So, not really an issue. And, I mean, again, I never really fill up this whole cargo capacity, even if I'm building outposts or something. So, I could honestly max it out if I wanted to, but I kind of like the look of it this way, so I'm probably just going to keep it as it is. But let me go into the builder screen, because there's one other thing I want to mention on the ship, and it's the back end here. Yeah, it's a little janky, probably not my favorite part of the ship in terms of aesthetics, but I did actually clip some pieces here to make this work. So if you take a piece, this piece in particular, it normally won't go there. You know, it shows red, but this piece, you can flip it. You can also change the variant, and any piece that you can do either of these things with, you can actually get it to clip like this. All you do is you select it, put it in place, either switch the variant or flip it until it is in the orientation that you want, and then you deselect the piece. In the computer, you'll hit escape. I don't know what the button is on console, but all you do is just deselect the piece and it'll snap right in place. I did the same thing here with this landing gear. Again, take that, put it there, it's not going to work, but then cycle through these different variants until it's back to the one you want, deselect it, and it's good to go. Yeah, any piece in the game that you can flip, any of these ship parts that you can flip or that have different variants, you can absolutely clip them. There's no mods involved here, it's just part of the game. Maybe it's a little bug, whatever you want to call it, but it works for me. Again, yeah, the back end's a little bit silly looking here with that clipping going on, but I still think it looks pretty good. So here's a quick look at the crew that I'm running. You can have 9 total crew members if you have a follower also. You can get 8 on your ship, and then your follower counts as an additional crew member also. Let me scroll through it real quick. And here's a quick look at the skills that I've invested in. I've got shields maxed out. Engines maxed out. Both of these are insanely useful if you plan on doing dogfighting in space. I've also got particle beams at 3 out of 4. I guess I could max this out if I wanted to. I haven't yet, but you know, that's what I'm at right now. Anyway, I also have starship design, of course, and piloting all the way maxed out. And if you're interested in piloting high-level ships, designing your own ships in general, you're going to need to invest in both of these. Honestly, all I've done is 1 level of targeting, and I got that from the start because I picked the bounty hunter trait, I think is what they're called. But anyway, there's one other skill that affects this whole ship here, and it's the ship command. So I had to go way out of my way and level up my social tree in order to even put this crew together. And frankly, there's very little upside to having done so, other than, like, again, headcanon type stuff. Frankly, Starfield's like 90% headcanon. If you cannot generate your own story in your head for why you're doing what you're doing, then it's really not that fun. If you can, it's excellent, but it's kind of up to you to do that yourself. Anyway, again, sorry, I'm going way off topic this entire video, but if you do want a maxed out crew, you're going to have to get this leveled up all the way, and you can get a total of 9, including your follower. And one last thing here, just a top tip: set yourself up with an amp factory if you have not done it. It will change your life. That 35% speed bonus is absolute godsend on these massive sprawling planets. Now, I see tons of people complaining about Starfield, about the fact that they are pretty empty. A lot of these planets, you'll run for a mile sometimes before you actually find any POI. I actually appreciate that decision. I mean, every other open world game these days, you get 40 seconds of traveling and then you get another POI. I mean, it's like, just, I get it, we're all ADD as shit. It's maybe more fun from a game design standpoint, but it's not realistic. I appreciate that Bethesda took a more realistic approach with the fact that these POIs are very spread out. On one hand, though, it is a bit of a walking simulator. I mean, having that 35% bonus makes it so much more enjoyable. And you get a double jump height. On low G planets, it's a lot of fun. And all you really need to set this up is some argon, you need metabolic agent, and toxin. Some planets, all you need is the greenhouse to get both of those other resources. Here I'm on Serpentis 4. I've got an animal husbandry creating toxin. But honestly, it's not very difficult. There's tons of videos on how to do it, so I'm not going to get way too into it here. Totally off topic, but it will change your life. If you have not done this, then you're not playing Starfield correctly, frankly. And if you've got any interest in finding places like this where you can maximize the resources at your outposts, you can find interesting landing zones with multiple biomes where they all interact like this, I've done some pretty extensive research on this, so you can check out my channel and I'll show you how to find these places for yourself. Otherwise, thanks for watching.